once again to another episode of the Footstep Show. Um, Today is the 4th of March 2023, and we are still celebrating the Ghana month. And if you are a Ghanaian or whichever country that you believe, in whichever country that you belong to, join us as Ghanaians as we celebrate the people of Ghana as they celebrate their independence. It is the Ghana month, and I'm proud to be a Ghanaian. Today, we are looking at a vital topic which is so important to us as we have begun the third quarter. It is so important for us to learn some few things and also add values to our life. So today, our topic today, adding value for your life, or adding values to your life. And my guest today is no other person than Apostle William. But before we do that, I just want to share one or two things or one or two thoughts with you as we begin that. You see, in this world that we are, it is always important to really pay attention to some of these words. Never put the key to your happiness into somebody's pocket. You see, if you want to add values to your life, or if you want to move to a second level, you have no business in putting your key into somebody's pocket. Meaning that the decisions that you make today depends on you. What you want to be in the next few years depends on you. And no one can do that for you today. And it is something that you need to really sit down and ask ourselves those questions. So on behalf of all the team and all the producers for this show, we are so grateful. We are still celebrating our 2nd year anniversary. We welcome you to the Footstep Show. I'll be right back after this.
Country, the nation that must go before.
So welcome back. Welcome back, Arise Ghana Youth. I mean, that is some kind of a motivation to all the young people out there. So just as I said today, our topic for today is adding values to your life. Adding values to your life. My guest for today is Apostle William. Apostle William. Good evening, good afternoon, Apostle. How are you doing?
Good evening. Mema Ghana Fina Fishapa. Happy Ghana month.
Can you hear me, Apostle? Can you hear me, please?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Good evening. I'm doing well by the grace of God, and I wish all of you a good, happy month. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I say I'm doing well. Good evening, listeners and viewers, and I wish you a happy Ghana month.
All right. Thank you so much, Apostle. Thank you. Thank you so much. So today we're looking at how to add values to our life. So how do we add values to our life? Apostle, how do we add values to our life?
If we are looking at adding value to our life, then there's a lot of things we need to look at. If we are saying adding value to our life, we can say adding value to yourself. So we have to understand what you mean by the self. So as an individual, what makes you unique from everybody? The way I will add value to myself will be different from you adding value to yourself. Now, if you are saying adding value to yourself, we are looking at something that will get you more respect, that will get you more leveraging, that will give you more exposure, that will give you more peace. And I use the word equilibrium because when we go to the shop, some of the items sell more than the other because there's a certain premium placed on them. So if you are adding value to yourself, you are looking at how to be preferred in some things than others, not as a competitive competition where there's unhealthy rat race, but you are looking at adding value so that your art, your skill, or your personality becomes for whatever you are unique, because everybody is unique in one way. So if you are a singer, how do you add value to yourself so that you be preferred more than any singer around? If you're a businessman, you have to add value to yourself so that people want to do business with you more than anybody. So adding value is actually a process where you engage certain systems, where you engage certain practices to make it possible for you to become, let me use the word, more valuable to people, more important, more preferred. That is what I basically can. But as we go along the line, we'll throw more light on what we mean by adding value to your life. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Apostle. Thank you so much. So haven't we know how do we add values to it? What ways can we add values? In what way?
Well, okay. Adding value comes in a lot of ways. Adding value comes in a lot of ways to people. For some of us, what I call something building abilities. You see, you want to add value to yourself. The first thing is that you come to a certain realization that something is not right, and maybe I'm in a particular field of work, I'm in a particular family, I'm in a particular environment, and I seem to be losing marks. I want to use the word important. There's a list of words I wrote here, and I want to read for us concerning this issue of value. I was looking at something from the Hebrew perspective, and then they had a word called Eric. That means a point of entry. Now, if people are looking at you, when they compare you with others, that's what will make you them. So you have to ask yourself first, what do I need to add value to? Specifically, what in your life are you adding value to? Because if you just say adding value to your life, in which way? What kind of value do you want to add? Is it a value that will make you more expensive? Is it the value that will give you change? Is it the value that will give you something for exchange? There's something like barter trade. You are adding value to yourself so that maybe you'll be able to exchange your skills for money, or you exchange your ideas for certain opportunities. Why are you adding value? That's what we need to look at. And if you're adding value, the first thing is to build abilities. By building abilities, I mean that you learn the things you don't know. It's not everything you have to go to school and learn. Not everything you have to go to school to learn. There are some of them you can study them through people. You can go to the people who do them, and you meet with them, and you get to that. Another thing is by reading. I keep saying that who can read and does not read has no advantage over the one who cannot read. You add value to yourself by what you read. Out of coincidence, you see behind me a whole lot of books. I'm reading, I'm searching, and the reason is that people have had the opportunity to study certain things, and you are now coming around it, so you go to them and you learn. Even the Bible to go to the ant and learn, you sluggard. So there's the aspect of building abilities where you learn skills that you know can add to who you are. That is one. Like interpersonal skills, you have to learn certain soft skills. We have to learn a trade. Some of us will have to go and learn a trade in addition to what we do all the time. Then there's also the issue of attending seminars. There are times we sit and we keep complaining, and I don't have this, I don't have that. But we need to go to seminars, conferences, where they teach things that we don't know. Some of us, there's no value to ourselves because we are not exposed. We are limited to one place. And one of the things that make you a very wonderful person is being part of events. Some of us have to step out there and be part of social events. We have to step out there and then join certain programs, go on some camping. And it all has a lot of things. Go on a safari, go on some hike or something. Some of us have to go on an adventure to add value to ourselves. So based on the value we want to add to us, we can sit in our house and then adding it by reading books. If you want to add value to yourself financially, you have to learn the financial language, because when you open your mouth to talk, it tells people what is inside. So if you're going to add value to yourself, the question is, which particular aspect of your life are you going to add value to? And here, permit me to draw your family. A certain value in your family. There's a way you add value to yourself as a family. For example, you have to learn interpersonal skills. You need to learn how to manage conflict. You need to learn how to be an effective relationship person. You have to learn how to communicate. We call these things soft skills. You have to learn people skills in the family. And automatically, when you do become a very good person in the family, it affects your relationship at work, because now you relate with certain people. Then when we come to your job and your career, the people you work with, why would they want to be around you all the time? There's a story I read, and I want to share the story over here. It's two guys that were sent by their manager. They were to go and buy watermelon in the market. One guy just went for prices in the market and came back. But the other guy took pains to find out from the manager what they are going to use the watermelon for, and the profit margin the manager is trying to look for. So the manager gave both of them the same information. Now, amazingly, when they got to the market, this other guy strike acquaintance with the sellers, pick their numbers, talks to them, and then gives them quantities. So if he was asked to, the manager told him about 100, and he was like, okay, so if I'm buying 20, how much will it sell to me? And with the 20, he did a generalization that if I'm getting 20 here at this price, so he went around. So when they came back to the office, he was like, okay, 5 people who sell watermelon, this person and this person and this person who can give us fresh watermelon this day, because they go to the market, they go to every Tuesday and they break Wednesday morning. And if we are buying this amount, we can get it at so and so price from this woman. We can get a so and so price from this woman. We can get a so and so price from this woman. And when we buy it like this, but our already set price as this amount. You and I, who are going to do this, are going to make this amount before even the company will also make so and so and so. Immediately, the other person just came and gave me a list. This person sells this at this. If we are buying this, she'll give it to us. No negotiation, no planning, no implementation, no calculation, nothing about profit margin, profit and loss, nothing. He just brought the information to him. But you see, this guy had added value to himself. How did he learn a certain skill? And when he came to the web, he will refer than why this. He brings more information than just going to ask for prices. He looks at the future more than just going for prizes. Whereas the other guy was just interested, no, I see me cut watermelons. I just want to buy watermelon. So that is what we mean when we are talking about what we call it, adding value to yourself. So we need to understand that if we are adding value, then there's going to be work. When it comes to, let's say, your health, adding value is that you should know a few things about yourself, how your health works and everything. Approach any health person, and that you are going to let them walk through long processes. You just have you basic information about what is going on. So adding value, the best thing I said is to build abilities. Read something, know something, go to a seminar, attend a conference, be part of a fun activity, get out there, become more social, learn something. If there's a skill you don't know and there's a seminar they are teaching you, go and learn it, pay and get a certificate and do it. And then when you come, inculcate those new ideas into the way you do your things. Find new ways of doing the same thing. That's, I call it adventure. Go and find new ways of doing the same old things. And as you begin to do those things, people begin to realize that you have more information to provide than everybody's providing. You have more alternatives to issues, and you see, the world pays you for the problems you solve. So people start giving you money, they are telling you, thank you for solving a problem. And so the more they give you the problems, the more money is available. And when you add values, it gives you more alternatives in dealing with the same situation. And because people know you are not one size fits all, but whatever they tell you are able to be 10, people want to come to you. So adding value starts with you. What kind of value do you want to add? That's the issue. What kind of value? Is it financial value? Is it health value? Is it appearance value? What is it? Is it knowledge? Because every skill, if you are saying want to add value to yourself, don't add value to yourself by reading the books I read. I deal with people. I'm a life coach. I deal with people. I deal with people's thinking. I deal with people's emotions. So I need to read books on those areas. I go for seminars where they teach me how to deal with people. I sometimes go for programs where I'm just sitting and listening. I'm not doing anything. When I come now, I come to research into the things. So adding value is about gathering information, relevant information, necessary for your field that you want to improve in, because it's not every area of your life. Some of us are very good with some areas of our lives, and there are certain areas of our life we are very horrible at. You add value to the places you are not very good at, and then you just, it automatically polishes the other places that you're already good at. So that's the basic things I think we can, the ways we can add values to our life, if that's okay with you.
Wow. I think you've really combined a lot of the things up. I mean, what type of values do we need to really have? How do we even create it? But then let's really look at what factors that will influence our values. What are some of the factors that will influence us as in our values?
Let me deal with this thing. I think it's going to help us. You see, let's look at the issue of this thing called self-concept. Okay, everybody is torn between three dimensions of self. We have the self-image, how the person sees him or herself, and I wrote something here that how we see the physical, internal state of being, our cognitive evaluation of ourselves. That's the basic thing, the basic self-awareness, and we also have our ideal self. If you are going to look at the values, how we develop the values, that's why I want to go there. Now, the ideal self is who you want to become, or your expected person. That is your high state of personal power. That is the place where you want to be, where you are in the God realm. That is your ideal self. And there's also what we call self-worth. Now, people call this self-worth as a public persona where you look at feedback from people and all that. So if somebody is going to build their value, the first thing is that what is his personal, his self-concept like? Is the person living in a self, the ideal self? Where are you going? Your values, is it the value leading you to your ideal self, or you just want to maintain your current self-worth? Because with your current self-worth, it's based on people. And if people are going to determine your importance and your value in life, you will definitely not really do anything. It has to be about you, your basic self-image. Who are you now, and who do you want to become? So who you want to become will tell you the kind of values to choose. And nobody just becomes any good person just by becoming a person. At a certain age in your life, certain things will change. When you are exposed to information, certain things will change. When your environment, you see, the environment has a way of affecting individuals. Our individuality is affected by a whole lot of things. And all those things help us in identifying our value. One is your family structure, the family environment, the kind of family you grow up in, the kind of values you grow up with. There's a seminar I attended where we said, my values make me dance. Family is the basic incubator for the bomb that you grew up. You have principles from there. Issues, integrity, respect, truthfulness, honesty. These things are picked from home. But where they become the real values of your life is up. Some of us with values, and along the line, we get so exposed in things, certain relationships happen here and there. And because of that, we need to drop the values we have. So the thing is really important to you, because somebody will be there and milk was spilled, it will not move him. Somebody will be there, a child is crossing the street, and the man or the woman will get so angry, so the word is so angry at the parent for allowing the child to cross the road. But that same adult is not worried when a dog is crossing the road. The values, mostly they are inbuilt. We pick them from our family, we pick them from our experiences, we pick some from our education. Those are the sources. We pick them from the knowledge we gather. As we go along the line, we process information, we pick issues, and then we realize that, okay, this is good for me, this will work for me, that will not work for me. But it's more about looking into yourself. What matters to you? What are important things to you? Your self-worth, you, your self-identity, your real self-image. Who am I? Who do I want to become? My ideal self. And then ask myself, what are the philosophies that must guide my life? So the philosophy that guides you on what is important and what is not is what we call values. Let me repeat it again. The philosophy or the concept that guides what is important to you or not is a value system. The thing that makes you choose A over B is a value system. Most of them are within. However, externally, there are certain words that we might pick, which we call core values. Will come. I know we might get there later on. But as you are growing up, the family environment, the surroundings where you grew up from, the education you have, your exposure in life, whether it was through traveling, through documentaries, through interactions with people, your relationships, your emotional development, all have a way of forming a certain place for you. And the strongest is the environment and the family and your education, which help you actually consolidate some of the principles to become, if that is what you.
Yes, Apostle. So I know you have really spoken about the concept, right? And you have really dived into it. Can we look at what is self-concept? How do we, define, or how will we define self-concept to us as individually? I believe that we wanted to really go into the core values, but I think this is also important, for us to really know about it. So how do we define that?
I was reading a book, I've forgotten the title, but it was written by Rosenberg somewhere in 1979. And in his book, he says something that the self-concept is the totality of an individual's thoughts and feeling, having a reference to himself as such. And I was fighting with it over a time. And I came to understand that when we are saying self-concept, it's like the feeling you have about yourself. When you evaluate your own interactions, your behaviors with people, your experiences over the years and all that, you form a certain philosophy about yourself, who you are, that which makes you so unique from somebody. And in our world today, we are suffering because everybody is after self-worth and not the original self-image. Using the word self because people don't really know who they are. They want more of self-worth, external, but deep down, who are you? Everybody is unique. So the self-concept is all about finding your uniqueness and leveraging it, finding your uniqueness and building upon it. Instead of focusing on what you don't have that somebody has, focus on your abilities, your internal talents, your giftings, and turn them into treasure over time. So this self-concept is about how you perceive yourself. Academically, how do you see yourself? Financially, how do you relate? I already said academically. Socio-emotionally, how do you relate? How do you see yourself? Because if you are not able to see yourself in the way you are supposed to see them, I can't even tell you anything. No matter what I tell you, if you don't believe in yourself, there's nothing I can do for you. So we need to understand that this issue of self-concept is very, very important. And many of us have lost it. That is why we are trying to look for people to, let me use the word, validate us. And so if the people are not validating us, we become handicapped. Let me use this scenario.
It's like it's like we want to really seek permission from others, how people really identify us, or is that what you're trying to say by people validating us? Apostle, I can't hear you. I think we are losing Apostle with audio. We'll be right back. We'll be right back in a few minutes.
Are you an African parent who is looking to engage your child in an educational program? AfriCanada Hub is a non-profit organization that aims to elicit the creative and leadership skills in the Black child. Register your child today in our ongoing book clubs and leadership programs by calling or texting 416-939-0530 or by visiting our website at www.africanadahub.org. AfriCanada Hub. We are all capable.
No.
Well, if you have just joined us, as a Full Step Show, and today we are talking about what we are discussing, adding values to your life. My guest is Apostle William. Apostle, I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me, please? Apostle, can you hear me? We cannot hear you. Yes. Well, that is the power of technology. We're working behind the scene to get Apostle audio back. But if you have been following us and if you have any question or anything you want to share with us, you can really send it to us on our social media platform on the Full Step Show. Anything you want to really comment about this topic. Have you really gotten to a point that you seek for validation from your friends in order to really, or your friends' opinion before you move on in life? If you can share that with us, share your thoughts with us. Are you at one place that you think that you are not growing in where you are, but there is a need for you to really move forward to another level of your life? I mean, that is adding values to your life. What has been your goal as we started this year? I know there are so many things that you have really said about it from the beginning of the year up to this time. And your duty is really to make sure that you'll be able to navigate into it. I said earlier on from the beginning of the show that never put your key or never put the key to your happiness into somebody else's pocket. What makes you happy is what you have to really work on it and develop on it. Apostle, can you hear us, please? Can you hear us? I think we are still missing your audio. Your audio is not coming. Please check if you have not muted yourself. So we'll be right back. We'll be right back in a few minutes whilst we solve the audio aspect of Apostle William. Yes, hello. Apostle, can you hear? Yes, Apostle, can you hear me, please?
Hello.
Can you also hear me, please?
Hey, what's this for sound?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you by the grace of God.
You can hear?
Yes.
All right.
But I will cast a message, but mention my work.
Um, all right. All right. So it's one of those things with technology, but we thank God that we are here again. You know, we know time is fast spent and gone, but then we'll try our best and then we'll put one or two thoughts into set. So, Apostle, before we went on this long break, we were basically talking about the concept. So, if you can really lead us through the concept aspect of it, and I think we need
Okay.
to really come back again and then maybe we touch the core aspect of it. Whatever God does is good.
Yeah. I want to get something across. You know, we have a lot of people with broken selves today. We don't really know who we are. We don't get the time to study to become who we are. We don't reflect to know who we really are. But we are always mostly looking for external validation. And let me correct something here. People outside can do something to help you, but you should know who you are. Who are you? Who really are you? Away from the camera, away from the books, away from the pictures, away from the price stands and everything. Who really is Daniel? Who really is William? So what makes you unique from everybody? Your emotional makeup, your psychological makeup, your environment, your experiences and exposures all inform a certain personality in you. And that self you should be at home with. If you are not at home with yourself, you don't have a good self-image. That is your original self. And then you become this, what I call the cosmetic personality. Now people begin to add things to you. And so one day, if everything falls off, you're going to blame someone. So you first need to know who you are. And that is where the issue of value system comes in. What is important to you? What makes your heart beat? What makes you laugh? What makes you cry? And you don't need to excuse anybody for it. This is who you are. But then you add the issue of values to your life. I need to live by certain principles, certain philosophies, because certain things are important to me, but they may not be necessarily important to you. I don't have to apologize for that. However, if what I see is important to me seems to be infringing on the rights and the general existence of others, then I need to reevaluate it and then look at it, whether their rights being kept or not. So that is the issue about life. But unfortunately, many of us don't know who we are, and we keep allowing people outside. There's this saying that if there's no enemy within, the enemy without can do us no harm. So if you don't know who you really are from within, people can tell you whoever you are, and you begin to follow that. But then you realize you have lost your uniqueness. But we were meant to shine like stars. All of us have something that makes us shine. Somebody's ability to shine is in singing. You see the lady you play, somebody can't sing like that. Somebody to put the football on the pitch and they play it. So when it comes to value system, we are looking at self. What makes you so unique as an individual from somebody? What makes you so unique? So I see children in the park, I don't care. Somebody sees children in the park and the person is excited. Somebody sees football and doesn't even, nothing in him moves. Somebody also sees the football and like the person is activated all over the place. There is something in us that is called identity. Who really are you? If you find out who you are, what makes you happy? What makes you sad? What makes you cry? What are the philosophies of that personality? So Kojo grew up in this house with this set of rules given him in the house. Whilst he's growing up, he has been picking up certain ideas. This is good for me to keep. So that becomes a value. It's a philosophy. That becomes the basis by which he judges his behavior. Values is what just that, the philosophy for your life. So when it comes to culture, the way you do your things, it is your philosophy that determines the way you do your things. Why would somebody spend their money on books and another will spend their money on books? Somebody will spend their money on cooking utensils, another will spend his money on mechanical tools. It is because of the values they have in life. And they pick it doesn't just happen one day. It's experiences, it's exposure, environmental factors, family issues, personal orientation, whether you're a man or woman, some things will be important to you than the other. So as we are picking up, growing up, getting exposed to information, being educated emotionally, we are heard, we are healed, we are heard. It all adds up to building what we call a value system. So if you're going to add value to yourself, the question is, what am I adding to what and why? Other than that, you see a footballer running on the pitch to add speed so that he can be a striker who has speed. Then you are a singer, you also begin to get speed. When you are singing, you don't run on the stage. See, the lady was just standing in one place and singing the song. If I'm an artist and I want to add value to my work, which aspect of my work am I going to add value to? So you see, everybody and the sort of values they will pick, but there are generally what we call core values that can pick integrity. Why did I pick integrity, not respect? Something within. So there's this pure personality within that we need to understand and know. And many of us have not taken time to know ourselves. Many of us have to go on what I call a self-discovery test. Get to know what you are good at, what you are not good at, what makes you happy, what makes you sad, and then accept this is who you are. Now, having accepted who you are, then you look at the areas that you need to polish. Those areas that you need to polish are the things that we are talking about adding values to yourself. I like talking to people. I can talk to people and talk. So I make sure I'm pouring information into my head. So when I'm talking, they want to listen. That's all. Somebody is good at writing. The person can write a letter and you clap your hands for the person. It will take me months. The person will take 5 minutes. So who you are as a unique individual matters. That's what we call the self-concept, the totality of your cognitive, your physical, socio-emotional interactions and everything. Whatever you have gone through with your experiences and exposure, that is you. Then after that, okay, this aspect is nice, this aspect is not nice. Okay, this is nice, I maintain. The ones that are not nice, let me polish it. And that's what we say we are adding, but because these ones don't equalize when we look at our goods. So this one is like on the scale, it go like this. So I'm adding value to bring an equilibrium to both sides of my life. And that is why I'll pick some principles and not some other principles, because it will not balance the scale for me. That's basically what I want to say. We apologize for the long break.
Wow. Apostle, I know it's a little bit late in Ghana, but I mean, whatever God does, I mean, we've not really died. Maybe, well, we could really continue more. But then I want to really know, how do individually determine their own values? You see, how do individually identify their own values? What practical way can you help someone listening to us right now? What steps he needs to really take to really have his own value, have his own life in his hand? So that we dealt with the core aspects in the second episode. Yeah.
The first thing we need to find out is there are things that are important to men. There are things that are important to women. So when you're a man, naturally there are some things that come easy with you. There are some things that are of concern to men naturally than women. I visited my sister, one of my sisters, and then they were in the house without music and they were okay. They were sitting there. But as soon as I got there, I started touching the gadgets and I was just joining the tables and tweaking this, tweaking that. And then by the time they realized there's music. And somebody walking, her neighbor walking outside said, "Hey, oh braba." The neighbor realized that the brother had come. Oh braba, and I said, so as a male, there are things that are important to you. Please list them. Write them down. What is important to you? Number two, what is your philosophy when it comes to this aspect of your life? So let's take them one by one. When it comes to family life, what is important to you? When it comes to job and career, what is important to you? When it comes to your relationships, your socio-emotional relationship, what is important to you? When it comes to your physical health, your health and physical well-being, what is important to you? You write all those things down, and then you identify principles that will help you to actually, let me use the word, leave them out. Because mostly all we have is here. When it comes to money, this is my idea. But it should be written down. And ask yourself, what philosophy do I put in place so this actually becomes part of my life? And then the other thing you look at is, what makes me happy? What makes me sad? These are things you can easily sit down and write. I am happy when I'm treated like this. I'm happy when I'm treated like this. I'm happy when I see this. I'm happy when I achieve this. I'm happy when I do that. I'm not happy when I'm not able to do this. Then when you write, you ask yourself, looking at your strengths and your weaknesses, which of the things which of the things listed are already natural with you? You don't worry yourself about them. But the ones you wish to do, you wish to achieve, that you look at your strengths, you don't have it. You look at your life, you cannot do it. Those are the areas you now begin to focus and ask yourself, what philosophy do I need to form? What ideas and thought patterns do I need to engage in order to balance the scale? I am still using the scale. So these are your strengths. These are your weaknesses. And some of the things you want to do will mean that you have to learn something. So I balance it. What philosophy will help me bring these two together? That's the whole thing. So practically look at your strengths and your weaknesses, your opportunities, your talents, and ask yourself, where do I want to go? And then how do I blend it? For some aspect of it, you will need a professional to help you, a psychologist, mostly life coaches. They focus on your dreams and goals and vision and purpose and all that. Go get some of them, pay them some small money, pay them some money, let them help you, because for some of us, we already lost. And there's this project we are doing. I wrote somewhere, I think I was reading and I came across the information. It said it is easy to build a strong child, but difficult to fix a broken adult. And many of us are broken adults.
Wow.
It said it is easy to raise a strong child, but difficult to mend a broken adult. So for some of us, we're already grown. There's no life coach to help us identify ourselves. Let's go get some life coach who will help us discover who we are. And if we're able to clear away all the hula baloo and the balloons and we are able to burst them, then the real us comes. Then they will still assist us to actually walk out of the crowd. Because many of us, I'm telling you, many of you watching me, you feel that you are not capable. You are capable, but you don't know how great you are.
Wow.
You don't know how great you are because you are covered with cobwebs from the past, experiences, relationships, hurts, and all sorts of things. And that's what the psychologists and the life coaches, especially life coaches, that's what they are there to do. They help you to focus your life from where you are to where you want to go. And as you are going on, they help you to overcome what we call roadblocks in your life. And you come to a place where you're able to achieve your goals. Because it is a goal, action plan that will help you. And before you can set a goal, it is the value system you have within you, the philosophy that helps you to judge what is right and wrong, what is acceptable with you or not. That will help you to form the goals. But some of us are not even clear on our values, let alone being clear on our goals. Because without a value system, I mean, you give me a ball and I'm holding a tennis ball and I'm on a football pitch. It's wrong. Some of us, that's where we are. So we need these professionals to help us streamline ourselves. When we are able to identify ourselves, we identify who we are, our values, and our self-concept is healthy enough, then we can go on.
Wow. I know, Apostle, we are far behind time. But we want to really have the second and third episode of this, how to really evaluate our life. And I believe that by the time we finish with this series, people will re-identify themselves or re-event themselves or re-imbrine themselves as to what aspects or which area do they want to really go into. So, Apostle, before we leave, I know we are still in the Ghana month. What can you say to the youth of today as we celebrate the Ghana month?
I remember this poem. I'm trying to look for it. Grass is greener at your feet. I'm trying to look for that poem. When we used to read it back in school, we said that do not go to others to cap in hand when you have felt green or something. It's a long time. I'm trying to get that poem. I read it somewhere, class 3, class 4, long time. It's gone. I want to encourage my youth. You see, you have abilities, you have potential, but you need to sit and nurture those talents. Many of us, we have lost our identity because we are in a competitive world. We are in a rat race. And the thing with a rat race is that when you win, you are still a rat. When you win a rat race, you are a rat. But God created you a human being. So ask yourself, who am I? What are the things that make me unique? Focus on those ones and build them. What are the things that I don't like about myself? It doesn't mean you are a fault. Even cars that has over 20 people sitting over them, machines and all of them, sometimes come with fault. But you are uniquely created, but you are looking at the wrong direction. Focus on what God placed inside you. Listen to the voice of God, and then focus on His word. Find out who you are, what you can do. If what you can do is just small, keep polishing it, because talents become treasure over time. Talents become treasure over time. So whatever talent you have, give it a refinery, put it through training, put it through nurturing. Put it through nurturing, and as you allow yourself to be nurtured, whatever nobody valued will now become a treasure. For example, water those days were running on the floor in Africa and nobody cared. And somebody came up with an idea. I want to bottle water. And the name of the company was Vortic. So today, every bottled water in Ghana is called Vortic. There are all kinds of names, but when you say go and buy Vortic, they mean you are referring to bottled water. Now, when you use the word insu, they know you are talking to sachet water. Why? Because somebody sat down, thought about himself, how do I refine this thing called water? How do I make it possible that we can transport it from one point to another? And then he added value. What gifts do you have? What talents do you have? And how do you use those talents and giftings to solve the problem of society? When you begin to raise that talent of yours into that commercial level of solving problems, people will pay. People will pay to come and listen to you. People will pay to come and watch you. People will pay to earn your service. In this life, it's either you provide service, you sell a product, and nobody will mind you. So come up with a product or engage in a service. People will pay you. So don't lose faith and say that I don't have all the money in the world. Don't lose faith and say that I was born in a village. The village is not even your definition. The village is a spelling. You can respell it. Next time I'll give you the respelling. I have not tried it, but I know you can respell it. So change where you are, and remember, talents become treasure over time. If you allow your talents to be nurtured, to be trained, just like electricity, you can do all sorts of things. Have a good evening.
Wow, what a night. You know, viewers, in the midst of all the technical hitches, in the midst of all audio is not coming, audio is on, you know, I believe that we have learned something tonight, which is so unique, something that is going to add values to your life. Apostle, thank you so much. I know in a couple of weeks' time, we'll take the second part of this this particular topic. We'll take this particular topic again, and I believe that you are going to learn a whole lot from it. So what I want from you, in 2 weeks from now, I want you to invite your friends, go to the Footstep page, Footstep Show page, subscribe, leave your comment there. Anything that you want to really know about added values to your life. This is a free, of course, free thing that Apostle is offering to us. Just put out your question there. When we meet in 2 weeks again, we'll be able to address all these questions for you. So, Apostle, once again, thank you so much for joining us tonight in the midst of all the difficulties that we have really gone through. I mean, speaking to you all the way from Ghana, and it's around 10:22 p.m. Thank you so much, and God really, really bless you. We'll see you again in 2 weeks' time as we continue this series again. God bless you. So to us, all of us listening to us, that was the Footstep Show. We were talking about adding values to our life. And I believe that you and I have really learned a lot tonight. And in 2 weeks from now, we will also learn a few things that will help us in our life. So to us, from all the team, the producers, and all of us from here, we want to really say that a happy Ghana month to all Ghanaians. And if you are not a Ghanaian, well, you can also be proud. Ghana can be found in the West Africa. As we celebrate this Ghana month, let it have an impact in your life. Rebrand yourself who you want to really be. Until then, the name is Daniel Emmanuel Obri. Thank you for joining us today. Have a great evening, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.